Angela, and I know it's been a really long time since you have seen me. I have had a lot going on in the past month. Sorry about the TV in the background. I have Kylie with me today. She was sick over the weekend. That's one of the many things that have been going on that have kept me from being able to record. I'm not here to make excuses for not uploading videos in the last 2 weeks, but I do want to give you guys an explanation of everything that's been going on, because it's been absolutely insane. I mean, you could probably write a book about my life or a TV show, because things are just so crazy. And I know I could just vlog about it and put up those videos, but honestly, like, at the time those things are happening, I'm not thinking, let me pull out my camera and start recording, you know, because they're just things that stress me out and things that I have to deal with when they come up. And I just don't know at that moment that pulling out the camera is a really good idea, because I don't know what the turnout's going to be. I've had a lot of car issues. I've had to replace 3 out of the 4 tires of my car. I had to replace the reservoir for the coolant. I had to replace the water pump. And I had to, what else? I had to get the oil change, and that was traumatic, because apparently the first time I went, they told me they couldn't change the oil because the little bolt that drains the oil tank was stripped, so they couldn't remove it. So I had to go buy a different one and then go back and get the oil change. So even a simple oil change was very stressful. I had to make several trips to Orlando. My older kids had cardiac MRIs, and then those went well. Everything was fine, except on Michaela's MRI, they found a spot in her lung. So that was stressful. I had to go back and get a chest x-ray to see if the spot was anything serious. Luckily, that came back negative, so that was good. And then immediately afterwards, Kylie got the flu. But we didn't know it was the flu, because all she had was a fever, and she wasn't swallowing. She wasn't eating, she wasn't drinking, she wasn't even swallowing her own saliva, and it caused her to get very dehydrated. I'd taken her to the urgent care when the fever came up, and they did a flu test, and it came back negative. So on Thursday, when she wasn't eating or swallowing anything, she got very dehydrated, very lethargic. So they told me to take her to the emergency room. So I took her to the emergency room, and this was just this past week, the end of January, beginning of February. So we ended up having to be transferred to the Children's Hospital, which was about an hour away. And I ended up staying with her overnight. My parents came with me, so it was 4 people in a little hospital room. Actually, it was pretty big. It wasn't that bad. I had just 2 TVs, so my parents could watch something and I could watch cartoons with Kylie. They had to poke her 5 times to get an IV in. One of the times was at the emergency room, the local emergency room. They were drawing blood, and they were trying to get a line in, but her vein blew right after they took the blood, so they weren't able to get anything out of that vein. And they didn't want to try poking her again, because it's not a pediatric emergency room, so they don't have the really tiny equipment that they do in children's hospitals. So then we went to the children's hospital, and they still poked her 4 more times to get a vein, because she was so severely dehydrated, and her veins are so tiny that they had to get a line in her. They needed to hydrate her. So it was heartbreaking to have to hold her down and just, you know, constantly tell her she's okay, it'll be okay, she's gonna be okay, even though I know they're causing her pain. That's like the most heart-wrenching thing in the world. But it does show me how resilient she is and how much love she has for me, because she's so capable of forgiving me right after all that, you know? So she's doing a lot better now. She is actually watching Clifford right over there, and she's eating again. She's swallowing just fine. It's tricky to get her to take her medicine, but I managed to do pretty well with it. So I just wanted to let you guys know, you know, it's been a really long time, and honestly, like, my children come first, my family comes first, and sometimes I have to put recording videos on the back burner. It's not because I don't like doing YouTube. I don't love doing YouTube videos and recording for you guys. I'm a single mom. I have 3 kids, and I have a full-time job, and I need to sometimes put my focus on those things first. So I hope you guys understand. I hope you like this video, and if you did, please make sure you click that little thumbs up down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media. I am Angela That Babe on Instagram, and I am YouTube That Babe on Twitter and Snapchat. I love you guys so much, and I am so glad to be able to come back. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.